My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Monster Train 2. Time to head into the Dimensional Portal again, doing the I'm the Enemy Now challenge. Your units have been picking up ideas from enemies. Start on Covenant rank 1 with the primary clan Under Legion, allied clan Banished, the Pyre Heart just being the standard Proto Heart Cage, and the mutators are Fast Draw, friendly units all get quick, Race You There, ascend friendly units at the end of each turn, and One Track Mind, the path you take on the map is chosen automatically. So that's gonna save me from a lot of decision making, which is sometimes good, is sometimes bad. It's sometimes good because constraining your decision making can often really help. If I don't have the ability to choose which of these two paths I go to, I just have to make the most individually powerful choices without really projecting towards the future. Can be quite useful. A lot of equipment in the base deck here. 2 copies of Loam Coat, 2 Ember to give 20 health to a unit on resolve. They gain Regen 1 and then Propagate 2. Again, Propagate increases the stacks of buffs on friendly units and debuffs on enemy units. Penitent's Bloodsuit, 1 Ember, Shift, take 30 damage, can be equipped on enemy units that will trigger when they move up between floors. And Prickly Puffball, 1 Ember, 2 Size, on Revenge, apply Decay 5 to attacker. Also got Seraph, Eternus of Savagery, and Archeon's going to be knocking people back. There's our mutators. We've got Bolete as our leader. 5 copies of Inspire and 5 copies of Spawn 1, the Eager Conscripts in the base deck. Nice. This is already looking quite nice. Got some damage. Got some support. Got some tank defense. Got a little bit of like individual target removal. We have no backline and no reach. That's probably the largest of the problems. If we can get a sweep unit, because our units are all quick, that'll be really helpful. Let's have a look at Bolete's paths first. Hiveminder. Rally, gain +1 damage permanently. I think it's probably better as an executioner line, because if our units are being pushed up every single turn, then one can only imagine that ultimately we end up with one very, very heavily overstacked line on the top doing most of our damage. I feel like the Executioner is more likely to be able to support that style. And things like Harvest stacking, of course. Jackstrips. Deal 3 piercing damage whenever an enemy unit moves between floors. Honestly, that is really good because it is reach. It's backline damage. It's the ability for, like, yes, we will still take damage and curses from a couple of enemies in early rounds because they still get to resolve on the bottom floor, but as soon as they leave that floor, they're dead. That said, Ever-Churning Soil is literally a draw relic. What do I do? What do I do? It's literally a draw relic. Like, Prickly Puffball, I can put you on the bottom line, but then you will move up at the end of the round. So my removal for the bottom line, this is premium for that. God, I have to take it over a draw relic. Oh, you have to know how much that kills me. How much that pains me inside to recognize that that actually is the thing that I should be doing here. Okay. Bolete, I'll put you on the bottom floor first. You are obviously still eventually going up to the top. But I want you to be there for all of the harvests. Loam Coat. Absolutely sickening play to drop on the Puffball. That's really annoying. The Collector is not going to take damage there. Even if I spawn and Inspire, I'm not capable of taking out the Sycophant early enough. to still take out the Collector. That's really annoying. Oh well. I wanted that money. Suppose I'm probably best served by... Gosh, I guess throwing a Eager Conscript here. Also, these Inspires are going to be gold when the top line is overstacking. Wait, did I get the money there? Because we attacked the spikes, so did we then decay the Collector and kill it? Or do I also just have 50 gold right now? I honestly don't recall what... Well, I sped through it, unfortunately. The game speed is too high for me to have realized what actually happened in that instance. Oops, oops, oops. Speaking of oops, give some help to the troops on the top. I suppose sending up a new Spear Steward makes a lot of sense here. And again, and then the benefit of this front shield guy literally just dies to the piercing damage from the jackstrips by the time it gets up here. Oh, that's an easy kill. I'm gonna have to keep in mind that the frontline unit is going to ascend to the back of the line. I really want an advance. Being able to advance a unit would be really important for us. Proliferate, propagate on all units on the floor, that will be really impactful as well. So would the green recruit, 0 number 1 size, extinguish, so on death, spawn 4. Actually a little harder to really justify this. I can throw it down on the bottom line, and then when it dies, it just becomes troops, and then the troops just start sending up. That's kind of fun. Loam Coat, if I didn't have 2 copies of it, I would immediately be taking it right now, but I do have 2 copies of it. It's obviously an obvious equip both for Bully and for the troop that ends up on the top line. It's also pretty good for Prickly Buff Ball, but it's not... Oh god, is it good enough that I'd take another copy of it? I think it is. It's really good for Prickly Buff Ball is the thing. I was halfway through saying, like, it's fine for Prickly Buff Ball when I realized it's actually insane. Because Prickly Buff Ball is a unit that you also want to put a bunch of other things that you care about propagating on. Like, you want to put regen on a Prickly Buff Ball. You want to put damage shield on a Prickly Buff Ball. You want to put all of these other buffs that it wants to stack. So having access to propagation is really important. Speaking of, Selfless Sacrifice gives us the ability to advance them to the front line, something I was complaining about just before, and gives them damage shield, something that I can now propagate. Oh, okay, so we're going Merchant of Magic under Legion. I can't say that's the choice I would have made. Upgrade a spell to permanently remove consume. I mean... Realistically, the reason we do that is in setup for the possibility of later getting a path where... Like, can I see what my future paths are? I can't even see what they are! Oh, that makes it much harder to take consume removal with the hope that theoretically in the future I will get the -2 cost consume remove. Wait, don't you have to get it? Can't this slot only offer me Emberstone or the other stone? So if I take consume removal on it and then reroll, that's 140, 35. I'm very tempted to try something here. Interesting. Spore Launcher, 2 ammo, 3 size, Rally, Decay 2 to enemy units. Gives us some AoE damage we're capable of doing. And Moral Mistress, 1 Ember, 2 Size, Etch, apply decay 8 to enemy units. Also gives us the same ability, but only on consume usage. Minion play is much more likely for me to happen due because of spawn stuff that exist. I'm gonna try this. I'm actually not certain this will work, but I am gonna try this. And now I intend to reroll, and my idea is that the thing that will be offered to me here will be the consume-based Emberstone, Smolder Stone, which will then 0 cost the Selfless Sacrifice instead of getting it down to 1. So the idea was both that it was going to offer me the Smolder Stone because it's the only other option that could fulfill that slot, and also that it could maximum cost 35, which is exactly how much I would have still had. Having this card cycling through the deck, and honestly, I may even get a second copy of this card, is really, really good. It's going to be a lot of the defense for Prickly Popball in combination with that Loam Coat. Enemy units enter with Titan Skin 1, that's fine. Piercing damage goes under Titan Skin, and the Jackstrips will still kill them. Prickly Popball, we have a way to get you to the front of the line now, so I don't have to worry about, like already placing you there. Selfless Sacrifice, Loam Coat. I mean, I guess I want to Inspire on the floor as well. Although I could also just throw a Spear Steward to get ready on the top line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'd have troops joining that top line. That's actually a lot better. Oh, Prickly Popball doesn't decay the floor, it only decays the attacker. So no, it wouldn't have done anything to the collector previously. Sadly. Man, I'm really bad at collecting collectors. Like, historically bad at it. Not a good deck for that. Penitent's Bloodsuit certainly doesn't count because it just escapes. I knew that wasn't going to be the case. I knew it was going to work. About time to start spawning some spawns on that top line. Oh my god, the Inspire for the top line as well. Good lord. The damage. Come on, let me get him to the front line. There we go. We did it. Woohoo! Now we take no damage on anyone. Prickly Puffball to the rescue! Spawning pods is really appealing, being a 2 costs consume spawn. 4, I mean, I did, obviously, if I'm rallying, a lot of appeal in that. I think I have to take it. I want backline reach, but I don't think Rot is the way that I want that, and I don't think Gooey Flask really provides what I'm looking for. Rising Rage, Ascend, then Advance. Realistically, what this actually says to us is Advance. Obviously, most units will already have ascended. This just gives us the ability to reorder our units a little more without having to use Selfless Sacrifice. I don't really need that, I think. Cleave deals damage to enemy units equal to the damage at the front. Friendly unit, that's not commonly going to be our highest damage, courtesy of the Prickly Puffball wanting to be in the front line a lot of the time, and Penitent's Bloodsuit. I'm going to take the money here. I was wondering! Yeah, okay, Merchant of Arms. Spells. Ooh. Well. Spell Sanctum 3 Ember. Spells cost -1 on this floor. Note, all the Eager Conscripts and Inspires do want to be played on the top floor. Although I will say there's also a bunch of other things. Whatever. Everlasting Light as well, though. Strike, apply Valor 2 to friendly units. If I had anyone with multi-strike on that top floor, I would give that in a heartbeat. I'm going to take Spell Sanctum. I'm going to try and use that. Historian, I see. Everyone's already quick, so I'm going to ignore the Wildwood Tome, thank you. Evergrowth, the ability to apply Regen 3 and Sap 3 to the same unit every single turn. I mean, realistically, that just gives my units an ability they can use, as well as supports stacking a lot of regen on Prickly Puffball, which I'm totally fine with. I wonder if Umbra Stone is probably a lot better, just to have one unit on the top line that does have Trample. I think that's probably more important. Just in terms of reach for, you know, finishing off two big dudes. I do think Everlasting Light on the top line makes actually a lot of sense. Literally just throw it on any unit on the top line and it ends up supporting so much damage. Obviously, this is without multi-strike, but in the future, multi-strike. Let's bully the opposition. Damn. I'm gonna do it. Spell Sanctum top floor. Now all my spells get played on that floor, and all of them cost one less. Ooh, Penitent Bloodsuit should go on Archeon. But I could also spawn 4 on that top floor. And I have another Penitent Bloodsuit in the deck, so I'm going to spawn the 4 instead. What else can go up to the top floor at this point? Spear Steward, Shield Steward. So I guess I do throw Shield Steward up there. And heck yeah, I'll sack this Spear Steward. I don't need it. Does 14 damage to an enemy, that's enough. One of my neck cards will be the Selfless Sacrifice, which is going to be pretty ideal. Here we go. Yep, Selfless Sacrifice our Defender to the front of the line, and then spawn, and spawn, and spawn, and spawn. And I've still got 3 Ember left, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to go for a Draw Relic here. I don't know. I feel like I might be able to justify a Draw Relic here. And probably another Draw Relic afterwards. Oh, right, yes. Oh, no, Umbra Stone is not equipment, of course. I was like, no, I can't equip that to Bully without removing the loam code. It's not equipment, buddy, it's a spell. Totally different thing. Hit him with the loam coat. The big Inspires. Yeah. These are the 3 that want to wear the loam coats. Good. I just want to replace my shield stewards on that top line realistically. Oh, wow. Death Metal Hymnist, 4 Ember, 1 Size, Enchant, Grant, Multi-Strike 1. I currently don't have enough Ember to be able to even play you, but you are definitely the correct choice. I need to figure out how to play you without getting an Ember here, because it does not actually make any sort of sense for me to take Ember as my next pickup. But I'll figure it out. Steadfast Crusader, Moral Mistress, and Avenger. I don't really want 2 revenge triggers on the same floor if I can avoid it. I don't think any of you feel appropriate. I feel like maybe most of... The most is probably Moral Mistress, maybe? I'm gonna skip that. Oh, trinkets. I wouldn't have chosen that. Oh, yikes. Headsman has trample by default, and on Slay, all friendly units propagate 1. Huge. First time a spell with Consumer's Blade each turn, draw 1. I don't really have any Consumes. I have 1 Consume spells. 2 Consume spells, rather. Captain's Halo, at the start of the turn, friendly units gain 2 Valor at the front of the room. Honestly, I just think that's really good. It's just like a little bit of internal scaling for the character. Oh. How... I think I can probably only support 1 additional copy of Selfless Sacrifice. But I am more than happy to have it. A little bit more reorganization. Well worth it. -1 Ember per turn. Again, this isn't actually going to be too bad for us. Well, hang on. It will be, because the Spell Sanctum's going to become unplayable. That said, I do think we still absolutely run over the enemy, even without playing the Spell Sanctum, so I think we have to do it. Another Penitent's Blood Suit for the big guy. And then we'll start sending the Shield Steward up as well. We've got Loamcoat number 1 coming out. Selfless Sacrifice could place the units in the right position. Definitely start with that. Also spawning pods to get a huge amount of decay on these enemies. Hang on. I think if we go with the other order, spawning pods first, then move the prickly puffball to the front, we can get both of these units down. Very close, that one, unfortunately. Gonna be a lot harder for this next guy who has 10 Titan skin already, as well as is not wearing the coat of I Will Die, which the other characters were, thankfully. Okay. We'll be taking 6 damage to one Scarred Sentinel, and if I had to guess, I'd probably say 6 damage to the next one as well. Oh, Kel the Corruptor. Because we're on Covenant 1, you don't also give 5 corruption to all units as you enter the field, which makes you much easier, thankfully. I mean, I definitely shouldn't play any things on this floor because we're already winning, and this enemy gives corruption to all of my units on in hand. So it costs us 6 HP, basically, to take the -1 Ember in that fight. Worth it. Mushy Room. Apply Sap 3 to enemy units at the end of combat. Now, putting that on either of the lower floors is totally appropriate. Literally just lowers the damage of the unit as they're coming up. There's also Cheery Death Gap. 1 Ember to summon. Apply Decay 7 to enemy units. And this is a unit that I would happily allow to die and just play again and then die and then just play again. So I'll take it in case I get Endless later on. Shields of Wing. I quite like this as well. 2 Ember, 10... health on Revenge, deal damage to the attacker equal to this unit's health. Granted, it's not really as good as the Loam Coats I already have. And I can't have too many units that trigger that. Demonize, Descend, and Apply Melee Weakness 2. Being able to descend a target is okay from time to time. Sometimes you need to. Imprison Zephyr, I mean, that's the ability to get a lot of Valor on that top... sorry, a lot of swaps on that top line, but I have no one with any shift abilities on that top line, so they're all swapping and doing nothing. I'll take Demonize. Interesting. Banished unit, another Merchant of Arms. Did I take the first Mushy... Did I take the... No, I didn't take the Mushy Room. I went with the Cheery Death Cap. So there's Cursed Twin Blade here, offering multi-strike, and there's also Void Armament offering multi-strike. Obviously, the combined equipment of them would be too expensive for me to play, and I already can't play my current multi-striker, so... I don't know. Combine 2 equipment cards into 1. I mean, there's a world where I could take Cursed Twin Blade and then combine Cursed Twin Blade with Everlasting Light, so that the unit is striking and applying Valor 4 to friendly units every single time it goes off. Which is pretty good for that top line. Obviously, that unit would also have multi-strike courtesy of having the Cursed Twin Blade in the first time. Who would I equip that to? Good question. I don't really know. We don't really have a unit that wants to wear that. Let's actually have a look at some units then. Hey. Maybe. We've got Battle Dancer. 1 Ember, 2 sides on shift, gain Valor 3. It's worth noting. All of the go up at the end of the floors, those are shifts. And Demonic Fledgling. 1 Ember, 2 size. Strike, gain Valor 1. On shift, gain Rage 2. I think we take the Demonic Fledgling, and then I think we take Cursed Twin Blade, and then I think we combine Cursed Twin Blade and Everlasting Light. And we're ready to play that on the Cursed Twin Blade. Upgrading equipment or a room to be drawn in the deployment phase. Unfortunately, we definitely don't have enough amber to be able to deploy the Spell Sanctum, despite the fact that obviously we would like to. I may end up having to take Ember for the next because if I do get the deployment ember for that, it'll be worth it. It'll keep down the costs of the rest of my deck to such a degree that I'll be able to play the expensive equipment because all of my spells will be free. I'm going to do that, actually. I'm not going to be able to play it right now, but in the future. Whew, that's going to pay off. I could also get a second copy of that merged equipment, which, like, realistically, anyone that's going to be on that top line would happily hold that equipment. It just makes them a generator of valor for the entire floor. I'm gonna do it. Because this is the line that matters at the moment. This, I can fill you with units over time. Loam Coat, Peniton's Blood Suit, Selflessly Sacrifice. Watch those units die twice. Perfect. There's the Spore Launcher for the next floor. Then we'll throw a Spear Steward behind it as well. 2 easy Valors. Hey, a collector we can collector. Love it. We've got Loam Coat for the right target. I will Eager Conscript and then selflessly sacrifice Prickly Puffball forward. Throw down, well, Demonic Fledgling. Maybe I throw down Shield Steward on the bottom line. 8, 8, 9, 8, 8, 9, 25 exactly. Shows Shield Steward would die on that line, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't summon and protect the Demonic Fledgling as it comes up here, unfortunately. Not right now, at least. So, Loam Coat for the troop. The incant sap on that floor is actually going to be really annoying. So, Loam Coat for the troop. And then I think we just have to leave it there. We'll take 15 damage on account of this. Ooh, 18 actually. Yikes. I think it might be a good idea to demonize you off of that line. So there's not a protector for the next line, so I don't have to worry about taking another 18. Thankfully, we will be able to continue propagating the damage shield that we just placed on the fun guy, because it's not even going to... Wait, hang on! Our units are all quick! Of course, Prickly Puffball's damage shield isn't going to be removed here. We're fine. We're more than fine, in fact. I just sapped all of my minions a bunch, but it is not going to matter. My minions are simply that well defended. Strike him for Valor. Of course, it's worth noting, as soon as we get any of the things that are like, every time you apply Valor, fly one more Valor. Those things are suddenly going to spike the Valor that I apply from, you know, the 2 copies of that equipment that I have in the deck. Mulch. 0 cost consumed. Draw 1 next turn. Draw 1 additional next turn. For every 15 cards in your deck, draw an additional card more. Love it. Pandemic. 2 Ember consume. Apply Decay 8 and Sap 2. Add a copy of this card to your discard pile. And Mushy Room. 1 Ember. Apply Sap 3 to the enemy unit to the end of combat on the floor. I'm taking the Mulch. Great draw. Lead Songbird. Valor on friendly units adds an additional damage per stack. I mean, I like the idea of playing that on the top floor, but realistically, Benediction, apply Valor 2 and Damage Shield 1 to friendly units is going to be significantly more impactful. Oh, another minion upgrade. Okay, we haven't seen one of these in a while. Upgrade a unit with Endless. I'm going to do it. Endless Cheery Deathcap. Upgrading a unit with 20 additional health. Got to give that to the Puffball. Quick, we already have on everyone. Valor, I'm fine without. Reroll and Titaniting our Prickly Puffball is huge. Smidgestone on Spore Launcher? I don't think that's necessary. I really don't. I'm bypassing capacity most often. Regen, Strength Stone. I may actually skip those upgrades as well entirely, though. Getting rid of cards out of the deck. We're not going to get rid of the base cards in the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then Bolete 8, and then stack 9. So yeah, I can cut the 2 stewards, but only 2 stewards at the moment. Take some HP and head into Kale. Kale's going to be a bit of a problem because I'm not going to be able to do much about the cherubs. Yeah, I didn't think about this too much, but those cherubs are going to be an absolute goddamn nightmare. Uh-oh. I'm going to summon a Demonic Fledgling in a position where you will be raised next turn. I'm going to drop Penitent's Bloodsuit on 2 of my enemies here. Great. Okay, so it gives them damage shield, but then it also removes the damage shield, thankfully, with the jack strips. That's useful. Well, with the jack strips or decay? At the end of each turn, at the end of each turn, after the next round of combat, end of each turn. What order do those occur in? Mulch definitely gets played. I feel like the merged equipment I should just throw on the Demonic Fledgling in the front line quickly. Yeah, because what I'm going to need more than much else right now is damage, and that's how I would get that. Oh, right, never mind. I have conscripts that I can jump block with on the top floor. I was like, I'm so screwed. What do I do here? Actually, just do the thing that you thought you should, because it's right. Giving trample to you is pretty important. I do want to set up the spawn launcher for the next floor, but also starting to play this cheery death cap is really important. Let's do that. Let's send up the Spear Steward. Great. Cheery Death Cap is ready for the bottom line yet again, and will be consistently. That's going to be how we handle those. Get Prickly Puffball into the correct position, drop a bunch of inspiration. I'm incentivized to drop the Loam Coat. And I should do. And I will, but Benediction is where my heart was. I can't tell you how much damage this Jackstrips has ultimately saved us. How many curses it's prevented, how much healing it's stopped. It's truly absurd. I actually do think it's really relevant to cause some shifting here. Get him, Loam Coat. Speaking of Loam Coat, actually, perfect turn to play it. I am a little concerned about this next floor. 140, 240s in a row is the biggest wall that we've encountered so far. I do think we come over the top of it, though. Yeah, we do. Perfect. Lovely to see it. Oh boy. Yeah, I'll just throw that merged equipment down. It's just there for inspiration gain. Also, ultimately, I don't really want to be chump blocking with the troops because I do have a huge amount of damage shield here, and I do have revenge stacks on Prickly Puffball. Like, you should be at the front of the line. Gosh, am I about to take energy literally just so that I can cast more things on the first turn? I think I am. I think I just need the setup energy. Unearthed Treasure, 1 Ember, consume. Draw 1 random card from your consume pile that isn't Unearthed Treasure. If there are at least 5 cards in the consume pile, draw 1 more. We currently have 1, 2, 3. Not enough consume cards for that. Fun Guy in a Suit, 3 Ember consume, spawn 3, and then apply armor to the Fun Guy equal to 4 times its troop. That's a great way to just get a bunch of stack on the troop. Love it. Fine. Ooh. Oh, that's fun. I mean, I don't really get to slay with Bolide as much as I want. Maybe I should give you, instead of, maybe I should give you one of the 3 stack. One of the merged equipments instead of one of the Loam Coats. Because you propagating on Slay and having Trample... Let's go Headsman 2. Propagate 2 on Slay is really important. As long as I can trigger it. Holdover Spell Chain, -1 cost. Well, this is a little wonderland for us, basically. -1 cost, it's worth noting, we already do have, by default, on the top floor. So... ideally, Holdover and -1 could go on the same thing. Like here, if I give Holdover and -1 to Benediction, on the top floor, every round, it's 1 Ember for me to give 2 Valor and damage shield 1 to all friendly units. That's definitely worth it. I think Spell Chain on just like a Valor or like a... Spell Chain on Mulch. No, that'll overdraw us a lot of the time. Spell Chain on just like a Valor or a Eager Conscript is totally appropriate. Mushy Room, realistically, if we take Mushy Room, we just throw it on the midline just to weaken units as they start ascending. Which is, that's fine. It's not bad. I'm not going to say it's bad. I'll roll. Double stack, that's unfortunate. Armor equal to 8 times true. Interesting. -1 cost and intrinsic could be pretty important for maybe a Umbra Stone. -2 cost and consume. I don't think I really want to pop that on anything. And double stack. I can double stack the Demonize, but realistically it is not going to be relevant. Do I still do it if I know it's not going to be relevant? I don't think I do. I think I'll hold my money in that instance. Edison Breath Zone spawn on each floor. Fine. They don't get to move. Only I get to move. And the Rage Wings are going to be dead by the time they get to the top line. Dead, you hear me? Small launch over the top is really nice, but Demonic Fledgling does actually hold equipment better. Except in that it'll kill itself against the enemy units. Loops. Death Metal Hymnist will always be striking itself down here. Let's give you Trample. I'm gonna Demonize and then Shiri Deathcap and drop a fun guy on the top floor. Actually, I'll do that in the slightly opposite order. I just want to start weakening that top line, because obviously that's where we're going to be spending the majority of our time. And it feels relatively cost-free to be able to do that right now. So Mushy Room would definitely go on this line. Bolete is far from ready to kill, unfortunately. So should I throw more power behind the Demonic Fledgling? This is also a problem. Terrifying Amalgam is going to be dealing 5 damage to us. Quite consistently here, actually, because I'm just not going to be able to get units on the bottom line that are healthy enough to... Like, I could drop a fun guy in a suit on the bottom line right now, but it would not advance my actual goals here. So I think I just had to eat some 5 damage hits from Terrifying Amalgams in this run. And that's fine. Sometimes you just have to. I'm glad that I had the health to be able to afford doing that. I don't know. Maybe Bolete really does need to start swiping. I will need the damage. Cheery Deathcap could be dropped on the top floor just for more decay, and then it would strike and knock back. I could drop that on the bottom line for the Ragewing Assassin. I could also do that next turn. Maybe I do just set up Mushy Room even. I'm gonna get you two to go to the front so that I can try and get as many slays as is humanly possible. So that Avowed Gladiator is... Collector, rude. That Avowed Gladiator is going to go up to the top floor and is going to deal some damage to us. That's annoying. But we are now scaling significantly on this top floor. That's probably not going to be the last time this fight we take damage. But it might be the last time we take fight... oh no, the two 400s are going to be a huge problem, obviously. Spore Launcher played. I would love to get a Loam Code down on this field. I always love to get a Loam Code down on this field. Do I want that over Benediction? I think so, but only because I'm about to be drawing into a new deck. So Benediction is still a viable draw for my 6th card, but also every draw after that. I guess I'm glad the Terrifying Amalgam's not really doing damage. Oh my god, the 2-300s again. Good lord, please stop it, stop it. Let me get off the ride. It hurts. I'm glad I'm able to project some damage to the backline at least now with the Spore Launcher. Oh boy. I would love to be able to play the Death Metal Hymnist. I can play it, I can give it Soulless Sacrifice, and then it dies. I need to be able to manually advance you rather than letting you advance at the end of the turn. That's what it comes down to, I think. I think the Benediction holdover is going to be really important here. I don't think the armor from Fungi is. Benediction just gives so many stacks to all of these units, which then gets propagated by any slays that Bolide is capable of collecting. I mean, do I demonize one of you? I think I do, because then I can play the Cheery Deathcap on the... Oh... it's fine, I'll play it next time. Cheery Deathcap on that floor to prevent you from dealing damage. So you don't deal 5 damage directly to my Pyre for the cost of that, but I do get to just kill you next round for ease. Splitting up those units. Unfortunately, the Terrifying Amalgam that's actually running alongside the boss, that's going to be a problem. Can't do much about that one. Oh no, our unit's quick, so I triggered the Revenge. Wait, does the Revenge only give it spikes, or does it power... I think it gives 5 damage to the boss. That said, it didn't matter, we're fine. There's some additional multi-strike just in case. Go for your lives, kids. That's so much damage, shield. That'll do it. Dig deep. 2 Ember, spawn 1. For every 10 cards in your deck, spawn 1 more. That's just spawn 4 without consume. There's also Pox. 2 Ember, consume, deal 20 damage and apply Decay 10 to all units. That'd be a good way to try and deal damage to and clear a lower line, because obviously I don't fill those lower lines. Truffles. Etch. I'll take a copy of Pox. I do like spawning, but I don't need it as much. Benetton's Death Suit. Gain melee weakness 1. I'll take Begone, actually. Apply melee weakness 1 to all enemy units is a really good way to deal a lot of damage with Trample. Again, not the direction I would have chosen, but I am here now. A grow room. All units propagate 1 at the end of the turn. Unfortunately, countervail something else that I already have on that top floor. Unfair. Unfortunate. Let's look for trinkets. Units get an extra upgrade slot. I'd love to be able to do that, but obviously I can't. On turn start, spawn 1 on each floor per 20 cards in your deck. Unfortunately, that's only going to be 1, but 1 on each floor is still good. Valor grants an additional armor per stack. The armor from Valor is almost entirely irrelevant to us. Shift triggers an additional time. Equip units gain armor 10. Shift triggers an additional time. Realistically, the best part of that is that the blood suit does more damage. And Deepwood Oil, sure. Merchant of Arms. I think I'm just here to remove cards from my deck. I could re-roll, but I think I'm more interested in just removing the cards that I basically never intend to play. I'm running out of cards that I never intend to play. I intend to play the Death Metal Hymnist. I just also am very unlikely to get to play the Death Metal Hymnist. Does that mean I have to remove it from the deck? I suspect I could get rid of 1 copy of both Eager Conscript. Oh. Oops. I was trying to remove rather than re-roll, but I re-rolled and now I have no money to do anything else, so I'm just gonna leave. No problem doing that, though. That's fine. Ooh, hang on. I'm gonna need... Oh, no, I'll spawn a troop in front of you. That's fine. It's the turn start as well, yeah, so we're fine. Get chump blocks? I'm gonna give Multi-Strike to you, as well as Umbra Stone Trample. Then I'll hit the top floor with just 3 stacks of Inspire, and then let him run. I haven't yet used Penitent's Bloodsuit on the boss, but I am going to. I think rather than losing this unit, I will descend and melee weakness the boss, which means that Prickly Buttball is going to be taking some damage, but other than that, we're fine. Also, it immediately does 60 damage to the boss, courtesy of triggering Shift twice. Welcome back to the top. Thank you for taking 60 damage to come here. I do need to get out the second merged equipment for my damage scaling. Perfect. Fungi in his suit's definitely going down. Oh, loam coat. Yeah, loam coating your shield is going to be really important. I also think perhaps Pox on this line. You're giving Titan Skin to your allies. You won't die in time by the time you get to the top line, but I can use Mushy Room to decrease its damage. I think the Decay 10 to all units here is going to be relevant. Just because it's my two firsts. Two big dudes. Two very big dudes. And we got him, it looks like. Hell yeah. Benediction's available. We're actually getting pretty close to being able to summon the Death Metal Hymnist. I'm doing that this turn, actually. That's what I'm going to aim my turnarounds. Death Metal Hymnist, and then we selflessly sacrifice in front of it, giving us the ability to keep the Death Metal Hymnist alive, goes to the top floor, gives everyone multi-strike with enchant, and stands on the back of the line as well. Oh, I knew that was finally going to happen. Two big dudes. One of you needs a Penitent Blood suit. And we have much more than enough damage to push through this top line. Let's look at it slowly resolve this one. Oh no, unfortunately he didn't give any attacks for Boleat, so we didn't get to propagate on Slay. There we go. We just need more units on the top line. Fun guy in a suit. Oh, 140 armor to the fun guy. Hell yeah. I just need Benediction to come back to hand and we'll be all set. I mean, we are all set already, to be clear. We are, you know, forfeiting HP, basically, to these terrifying amalgams, which, not great. I'm going to be taking 10 damage, another 10 damage as you go up one more line, but that's kind of the cost that I just have to pay. It will be okay. I'm gonna overstack, well, not overstack, but I'm gonna overstack their second floor just so that I can try and get more targets for Boleat to actually be able to trigger some Slayers. Perfect. Get him, Boleat. Okay. That was 2 Slays on Boleat. That's a lot of propagation for the top floor. Good thing we had all of this health to spare. It's a resource and we spent ours. Perfect. Slow it down for the very final hit. Oh my god, the prickly puffball is doing most of the damage right now. Oh, bully! Yeah, get it! Huge work, bully. 60 damage in that final fight, though. Woo! That's what you get for not planning for any reach. Well, actually, hang on. Would it have been reach? How would I have dealt with 400 health on those, 500 health on those bottom units with reach? I guess disable? How would I have disabled them? I think maybe the best way to deal with them was just to be in a position where I was capable of tanking them. So I'm glad that I was. Heading back to the outpost, we'll see a gathering happening at the pyre.
Well done, my shrooms. It was a great run. For now, I must retire to the march.
Have a good rest, madam. Madam. Actually, you know what? That little mustache. I'm sorry. You gotta go another direction.
Madame Lion's mane is amazing, don't you think?
Why don't you go tell her how amazing you think she is? You battle beside her all the time.
Talk to the Queen of Spores herself? Are you mad? No, she has so many fans. Mushrooms who are so much more impressive than me. Perhaps I'll just write her a letter. Huh, you stinky Lady Lion's mane is nothing compared to Lord Gilda, Lady Gilda. Lady Gilda is literally worth more gold than you shrooms could ever imagine. How dare you insult Madame Lion's mane by comparing her to the greedy gold sniffer Lady Gilda? The Spore Queen is smart, kind, and smells of the finest compost. Compost on kindness? That's all she's got? Lady Gilda has riches, power, and actual influence, not just garden variety followers.
Uh-oh. This won't end well.
That does it! I challenge you to a duel for my lady's honor! Tomorrow, when the floating spores glint in the dawn light, we shall meet on the Sands of Limbo and fight to the death! Accept my challenge or forever be known as a coward. Coward? We dragons are many things, but we're not cowards. Tomorrow at dawn, we fight!
Colonel, are you sure about this? You don't need to prove anything to that stuck-up little whelp.
This is something I must do, Balmabello. If I cannot defend Madame Lion's mane's honor, I do not deserve to even stand in her presence.
That is actually 100% how I thought the Cluster Colonel would be personified. Just literally from looking at his face. I'm not saying the voice, I'm saying the that exact attitude, that kind of like overborn chivalrousness. For the moment though, let me just tell you that my name's been Rhapsody, the name of the game. Oh, it's been Monster Train too. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. Top left of the series playlist from content of the game past, present, and future. YouTube recommendation down below. Streaming past. Other names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on Patreon.com/RaptiPlays. Out above the thank you and a special thanks this episode to Dialer. Hopefully you'll be enjoying yourselves and hopefully we'll see you all next time.